Hello everybody, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So I have a really great idea for a video. I would like us all to kind of think back to the Great Depression and the Civil War that happened here in America. And I would like you to think of this. What if they would have known it was coming and could have properly prepared? What do you think those people that lived through that would have wished they had more of? What suggestion do you think they would give us for the times that we are currently living in? Now, be it whether we're going to see a civil war or we're going to see riots once whoever gets in the presidency gets in, doesn't matter, or we see another Great Depression. We see another, and I've told you guys, I honestly believe there are every scientific thing in place for us to have another Dust Bowl. All the right conditions have been laid out for there to be another Dust Bowl. So if any of that is to happen, what do you think our ancestors would say we need the most of? Well, one thing they would tell you, you need medicinal trees and plants on your property. This is elderberry. Takes a few years for them to get big enough for you to harvest off of, but elderberries are powerhouses for anti-inflammatory, antifungal, boost your immune system, really good plant to grow. They would tell you, have your own protein sources, your own meat. Easy to grow, easy to raise chickens, which is why I personally feel like chickens are under attack across this country. There are literally city ordinances saying that chickens are the cause of rats. I've never heard such nonsense in my life. Those people have never raised chickens, or they would understand chickens will get rid of things, even ant piles. I use them in my garden. When I see a bunch of ants in my heavy mulch, I move the chickens there. They eat the ants, the eggs, smooth out the ant nest, and voila, I have no more ants. They would probably tell you to raise you some supersized dogs and train them for home protection, for personal protection. They would also tell you to make sure you had a way to stitch those dogs, heal those dogs, and feed those dogs. I'm going to assume they would tell you to be in shape enough that you could cut your own wood and walk a few miles. They would tell you to have a heat source and to have a water source, a clean water source. I bet because so many of those people during both the Civil War and the Great Depression were run off their properties or burned off their properties, whatever it may be. They would tell you to avoid crowds like in cities and learn to live off the land, to have maps, to know how to navigate by the stars, and if at least not by the stars, how to use an actual compass. Real quick, you guys, most of you know that Stephen and I were demonetized by YouTube for speaking truth. If you would like to support our channel, I will pin and comment at the top Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. We are also still doing the Food for Thought campaign. Thank you guys. We have met and exceeded 5,000 of our $10,000 goal, which is to grow a 1/4 acre, no-till, nutrient-dense food and give it away in my parish here in Southeast Louisiana, making a difference in hard-working Americans' lives. We will be helping people who have cancer, people who have adopted children, children that are in the welfare system, in the, the OCS system. We're going to help Americans. We're going to help Americans who are working but can't quite make it. The people who don't get the food stamps. People like you and I that work and can't put nutrient-dense food on the table. Those people, those children, they need our help more than ever. And we love you guys. We thank y'all so much for allowing me to continue to do what I do, and that is bring truth to you. So thank you for rowing in my boat. I'm pretty sure those people would have warned you about making sure you've stocked up for 3 to 4 months of only depending on the food that you can grow, kill, or that you have previously stocked. They would tell you not to keep all your eggs in one basket. In other words, don't put all your stores in one spot. They would tell you to hide a few chickens in the woods, especially people who lived through the Civil War. They would tell you to tie up your goats in the back where nobody could see them. They would tell you not to let all your neighbors know that you're a prepper, because you'll be the first place those people come to when their children get hungry. Now, I'm not telling you this to scare you, but I had an amazing subscriber make this comment, and a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, wow, what an amazing video that would make. What would your ancestors tell you they wish they had had during those periods of great unrest in our country? For sure, medicine, water, warm clothing, a safe place to sleep. I guarantee you they wish they had more weapons. More ways to defend themselves than just a weapon. We're moving into a time and period in our life that there are no more excuses for adults not to at least know that things are not what mainstream media tells you they are. Every time I accidentally bump onto MSNBC, I am shocked at what crap they're feeding people, and people are just eating it. Eating it. It's so obscene that I can't watch it. But I'll tell you the truth, I really can't watch Fox News that much either. They all feel false to me. And the more I educate myself on growing food, I realize that even the agricultural colleges and universities in Louisiana, I'm sure your state too, don't teach people to actually grow food correctly. They teach you to rip the soil to pieces and dump poison on it to grow food. That is not how food grows. So people have really poor soil that they're working with. And if and when the time comes, they get all these Green New Deal laws passed and America is like Europe and you can't buy fertilizer. All of you that will not hear us tell you to stop tilling your soil, you're going to be crying and freaking out. I have heard more backyard gardeners complain in the past 18 months that they could not grow food because of the heat and the drought. It was impossible. My garden died. Nobody can grow food in this. Go back and look at my videos from last year in our no-till playlist. That area out there looked like the Garden of Eden. In the middle of 117-degree temperatures with no water in sight. That garden got 14 hours of sun a day. No relief for those plants, and they were slamming with food. Because God will prepare you for what's coming. That's the Holy Spirit's job. Get out of debt. People don't believe me when I say this. Do you guys realize your mortgage company has a clause in your agreement that they could come to you at any moment and ask you for the full balance at one time? And if you couldn't pay it, they legally can remove you out of your house. I'm being very serious. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Do not, because I'm right. That clause is there to protect them. That clause is there so that at any moment you start missing, well, that clause is there. Now, here's the thing. During the Great Depression, people obviously could not pay their mortgages. So here's what banks did and mortgage companies. They kicked you out. So what they would do is they would pick a city and a state, and they would go in there, and there would be 20,000 American families in one day evicted from their homes. They did this over and over across the United States. During the Great Depression, as our country was falling to its knees, bankers were taking homes from Americans. Why? Because it is not your home until you pay it off. So if your great-great-grandmother could tell you anything, it would be get out of debt. Get out of debt. Why do you think your great-grandparents scoffed at credit cards and told you it was a bad idea? Why do you think grandma kept money hidden in her house? And some grandparents, and some of you will remember this, kept canned foods tucked underneath their beds. Why do you think they did that? They didn't do it because it was cute or that they could get on TikTok and make videos. They did it because they knew they were going to have to survive again one day. And all that knowledge has been ignored, lost, and forgotten. And now we're back. We're repeating history again right now. And 60+% of Americans are in debt with credit card debt. And something like 30% of that 60% has zero savings. You've got car notes, house notes. If anything happens to your job, you are screwed. Get yourself out of that position. If you're in a house you can't afford, sell it. Sell it. Go find something you could afford. It's a mobile home. Sure is. Let me tell you a little bit about it. The guy that built it meant to die in it. That's 14 years old, and it looks brand new on the inside. Floors are so solid, no squeaking, no moving. You'd never know you were in a mobile home. Everything's upgraded in it. Double pane windows, everything you get in the house. But I paid cash and homesteaded my 2 acres and my mobile home all at one time because that's the money that I had. But I had people telling me, oh my gosh, you guys have that much cash? You could go buy this $250,000 house down here with 4 acres and you mean, golly, just finance, $200,000. That would have been a bad investment. What I did was invested my money, paid cash for my property, and if I sell it today, I'm going to make upwards of $30,000 in profit on this. I don't know, you do you, but I'm trying to warn you guys. I'm not making it up. Sometimes you have to live in mobile homes until you are a camper. I lived in a camper for 3.5 years before I bought my mobile home, saving that money. But guess what? I have zero debt, zero credit card debt. And I can grow my own food and I can feed all my own animals with what I grow on my property. You need to get ready, friends. Something is coming. Quit listening to people give you advice that are so far in debt that they can't breathe anymore. Anybody that suggests to you to go into debt for anything doesn't have your best interest at heart. They may not be meaning to not have your best interest of heart, but they really don't. Because going in debt in this economy is a terrible, terrible idea. That's why God says you are a slave to the person that you owe money. Owe no man anything. I speak it all the time. I'm a lender, not a borrower. I'm above and not beneath. Better get in that Deuteronomy 28. God bless you guys. I got some errands to run and put the dog back up. You have a blessed, prosperous April. And yes, it is April Fool's Day. And no, we don't need to celebrate it because we got an April Fool in the office. Love you guys.